The fire guys, firemen. I guess it's, I assume you're here for this. Okay, we have a proclamation tonight. Whereas the city of Des Moines is committed to ensuring the safety and security of all those living and visiting our city. And whereas fire remains a serious public safety concern, both locally and nationally, and the presence of lithium-ion batteries in many household devices introduce unique fire risks. And whereas most of the electronics used in homes today, including smartphones, tablets, laptops, power tools, e-bikes, e-scooters, and toys, are powered by lithium-ion batteries, which if misused, damaged, or improperly charged, can overheat, start a fire, or explode. And whereas the National Fire Protection Association reports an increase in battery-related fires, underscoring the need for public education on the safe use of the lithium-ion batteries. And whereas the Des Moines residents should follow 3 key calls to action: buy only listed products, charge batteries safely, and recycle them responsibly to prevent battery-related fires. And whereas the women and the men of the Des Moines Fire Department are dedicated to reducing the occurrence of fires and fire injuries through prevention and education. And whereas the 2025 Fire Prevention Week theme, Charge into Fire Safety, lithium-ion batteries in your home, serves to remind us of the importance of using, charging, and recycling lithium-ion batteries safely to reduce the risk of fires in homes and communities. Now, therefore, I, Connie Bozen, on behalf of the City Council and the residents of Des Moines, do hereby proclaim October 5th through the 11th, 2025, to be Fire Prevention Week. So I will turn this over to the Marshal. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mayor. We just want to invite everybody to come out and join us. Next week is Fire Prevention Week, as the mayor mentioned. We're in every library. We've got our Fire Prevention Week poster contest celebration, and we will be informing Des Moines residents all about fire safety every week, but especially next week. So if you have the opportunity to get out and see us at a library, we're bringing the fire trucks to the libraries. We're reading stories to the kids and encouraging everybody to be fire safe, because lithium-ion batteries are everywhere and they are a potential fire safety issue.
Which I think a lot of people don't know.
It's
Thank you
true.
for bringing this forward. Thank you for all the dedication, the work you do, and for putting this on, because education is the best thing we can do. So on behalf of the, present this to you. I suppose I have to get this out of the way. Full agency, housing agency governing board meeting. Could we please take the roll?
Bozen,
Here.
Simonson, Voss,
Here.
Coleman, Westergaard, Mandelbaum, Gatto.
Here.
We have a quorum.
The next item, item 2, approving agenda as presented and or as amended.
Move.
Been moved and seconded. Please vote.
Seven yes.
Motion carries. Next, item 3 is accepting proposal from Ripma Properties as developer for Section 18 conversion of Royal View Manor, Board Communication number 25-369.
Move approval.
Is there a second? There's been a move and second, so please vote.
just have a,
Okay, go ahead. Well,
this isn't on the item, this is just the agenda? Or, no, the item.
This is,
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Yep.
I have a question on the change to affordability between the two, and I want to just make sure I understand that, because under RAD, my understanding is that affordability would be in perpetuity, and under this other designation, we don't have that option. Is that correct?
Mayor, members of the Municipal Housing Governing Board, Chris Johansson, Housing Services Director. You're correct with regards to under RAD, there was a land lease requirement. Under just regular disposition, that requirement will not be there. What has been discussed so far, and this hasn't been finalized yet, but having a project-based Section 8 contract in place at the building. So that contract is usually good for 15 years, and after 15 years, it's up for renewal at that point.
Right, so we would have, if we have the land lease, we could ensure affordability in perpetuity, regardless of whether or not there is Section 8 voucher, project-based
That's
vouchers
correct,
available. And if there's Section 8 vouchers available, there's nothing that requires the developer to have those in perpetuity. Is that correct?
Not for perpetuity, just as long as the contract would last for.
Right, okay.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
it's been moved and seconded. And if you have not voted, please vote.
6 yes, 1 no.
Motion carries. Is there a motion?
Move to adjourn, Your Honor.
Okay. Is there a second? Second. Please vote, or I guess we can voice vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we will reconvene into our regular meeting. Here.
Here. Here.
Coleman,
Here.
Westergaard. Here. Mandelbaum. Here. Gatto.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Before we start our regular meeting, I just want to read a statement. The City of Des Moines joins our community in awaiting additional information regarding the arrest and detainment of Dr. Ian Roberts. I want the community to know that the City of Des Moines nor the Des Moines Police Department had prior knowledge of the search and the detainment, and the Des Moines Police Department was not involved in the incident. While there is still more to learn, we must shift our focus to supporting the district's over 30,000 students and 5,000 staff members through this transition. There's a group of dedicated teachers, faculty, elected school board leaders who are working tirelessly to ensure the children of our city will continue to receive instruction, social interaction, and support services uninterrupted during the current situation. In the meantime, I encourage everyone to engage in civil, constructive, factual, informed discourse regarding this situation. Consider that disrespectful discussions only further divide us. We have one common goal, and that's to build a thriving community for Des Moines, and that includes strong public schools. So thank you. And with that, I will go into number 2, is approving the agenda as presented and or as amended. And tonight, 4C, Coleman votes no. 5 and 6, Coleman and Voss vote no. 7, Coleman's no. 18, Coleman wants to speak. 18I, Coleman wants to speak. 52, Coleman is, they want to speak. Gatto's no. Westergaard's no. Am I on the wrong one?
This one's 2. I don't know.
Okay, sorry.
That's all right.
Go back to here. Sorry, I
Amendments to the-
passed over the consent. It'll be a shorter list. 75 is updated, setting the hearing on lease agreement with Joppa for property located in the vicinity of 2501 Maury Street, 10 October 20th, 2025. 84 is the updated speakers list. With that,
Move approval.
all in favor, please vote.
7 yes.
Okay, well, I guess I get to do this again. Do you think I can cut this down or do it again?
Better read it.
I'll redo it all again. Number 3 is approving consent agenda, items 3 through 58. These are routine items and will be enacted by one roll call vote without separate discussion unless pursuant to council rules. Council requests an item to be removed or to be considered separately. We'll go back through this. 4C, Coleman votes no. 5 and 6, Coleman and Voss vote no. 7, Coleman is a no. 18, Coleman wants to speak. 18I, Coleman would like to speak. 52, Coleman is a no. Gatto is a no, and Westergaard's a no.
Coleman wants to speak, sorry.
Oh,
I
but you
don't,
want to
I don't need
speak.
to speak.
You
Okay,
decided not to.
stop the speaking. And item number 70, Coleman would like to speak. With that, I'll entertain.
Move approval.
It's been moved and seconded. Please vote.
7 yes.
Motion carries. Next is our hearings. Item 59, on conveyance of city-owned property at 930 Thornton Avenue to Greater Des Moines Habitat for Humanity for rehabilitation of housing. Council communication number 25-355. Germane comments from the general public, 2 minutes per person to speak, 10 minutes maximum. Anyone wishing to speak to this?
Seeing none, I'll move item 59.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Please vote.
7 yes.
Motion carries. Item 60, on vacation of air and subsurface rights, excuse me, within portions of Murphy Street and Southwest 14th Street right-of-way adjoining 1310 Murphy Street, and conveyance of a permanent easement for airspace above city-owned property and a permanent easement for subsurface building encroachment on city-owned property at HRC NFSI LLC for $1,625. A is first consideration of the ordinance above. B is final consideration of the ordinance above. Waiver requested by B.J. Miller, Vice President, requires 6 votes.
Seeing no one, I'll move item 60, 60A, and 60B.
Please vote.
Westergaard, did you vote yes?
Yeah.
Okay. 7 yes.
It says yes.
I pressed before you. Sorry. That was my
Motion
fault.
carries. Item 61, on vacation of surface rights within a portion of Depot Street, right-of-way adjoining 108 3rd Street, and conveyance of a permanent easement for surface building encroachment on city-owned property JDS Real Estate Investments LLC for $33,400. A is first consideration of ordinance above. B is final consideration of ordinance above. Waiver requested by Jeffrey Stanbro, President, requires 6 votes. Anyone wishing to speak? We have germane comments for the general public, and 2 minutes per person to speak, up to 10 minutes max.
Seeing none, I'll move item 61, 61A, and 61B.
It's been moved and seconded. Please vote.
7 yes.
Motion carries. Item 62, on vacation of excess cemetery property adjoining 1708 48th Street and conveyance to Linda C. Klein for $5,000. A is first consideration of the ordinance above. Anyone wishing to speak to this? Seeing none?
I will move item 62. And A? Oh, and A.
Is there a second?
Seconds.
Do you want to wait the second and third?
Is this one that requires 3 readings? I would like to waive, according to non-pre-published rule 42A. So I would move 62A and 62 plus the waiving.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Please vote.
7 yes.
Motion carries. 63, on vacation of the north-south and east-west alley right-of-way located in the vicinity of 1650 Dean Avenue and conveyance of adjoining property owners for $350. A is first consideration of the ordinance above. Again, anyone wishing to speak to this?
I see none, Your Honor. I'll move 63, 63A, and pursuant to Rule 42A, I'll waive the second and third reading.
It's been moved and seconded. Please vote.
7 yes.
Motion carries. 64, on vacation in multiple segments of street and alley right-of-way located in the vicinity of East 19th Street and Hubble Avenue to allow them to be assembled into Asheville Field Park. A is first consideration of ordinance above. Again, anyone wishing to speak to this?
I see none. I'll move 64, 64A, and pursuant to Rule 42A, I'll waive the second and third reading also.
I'll second that.
It's been moved and seconded. Please vote.
Seven yes.
Motion carries. Item 65, to correct vacation of 2 irregular-shaped segments of undeveloped right-of-way located in the vicinity of 6200 Scout Trail and correct the release of permanent easement for public right-of-way on said property. A is the first consideration of ordinance above. Anyone wishing to speak to this?
Seeing none, I'll move item 65, 65A, and pursuant to Rule 42A, move to waive the second and third reading.
It's been moved and seconded. Please vote.
7 yes.
Motion carries. Item 66, to correct the vacation of portions of East 36th Street, East 36th Street Court, Arthur Avenue, East 40th Court, and Lot Q right-of-way located in the 4 Mile Creek floodplain, and issue a corrected quit claim deed to Polk County Conservation Board for the Lower 4 Mile Creek Greenway project. A is first consideration of ordinance above. Anyone wishing to speak to this?
Seeing none, I'll move to approve item 66, 66A, and pursuant to Rule 42A, waive the second and third reading.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Please vote.
7 yes.
Motion carries. Item 67, on request from 61st Street Construction LLC, Daniel Doyle, officer, to amend the plan DSM Creating Our Tomorrow comprehensive plan to revise the future land use classification of 1603 Walker Street from low-density residential to high-density residential and rezone from NX1 Neighborhood Mixed District to limited NX2 Neighborhood Mixed District to allow redevelopment of the property for a multiple household building up to 12 dwelling units. A is first consideration of ordinance above. B is final consideration of ordinance above. Waiver requested by applicant requires 6 votes. First is the party of interest applicant for rezoning and those within 250 feet of the property to be rezoned. They will be given up to 5 minutes to speak. Second would be germane comments from the general public, 2 minutes per person. Anyone wishing to speak to this? Seeing none.
Seeing none, I'll move items 67A and B.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Please vote.
7 yes.
Motion carries. Item 68, on the proposition to enter into a loan agreement with Axon Enterprise Incorporated in the principal amount of not to exceed $1,091,997.95 for the purpose of providing funds for the purchase of certain TASER certification bundle equipment and materials. Council Communication Number 25-374. Again, germane comments from the general public. Anyone wishing to speak?
Move item 68.
It's been moved and seconded. Please vote.
7 yes.
Motion carries. Item 69, on a lease agreement with E.O. Johnson Company Incorporated not to exceed $450,000 for leasing of multi-function devices, printer, copier, scanner, and facsimile, for the use in the city operations for a 2-year period to be paid in 24 monthly payments and to continue to October 20th, 2025 council meeting.
Move item 69, Your Honor.
Been moved and seconded. Please vote.
Seven yes.
Motion carries. Item 70, on Birdland and Ashworth Pool building repairs, resolution approving plans, specifications, form of contract, documents, engineer's estimate, receive and file bids, and designating the lowest responsible bidder as T&T Tuck Pointing and Building Restoration, LLC, Joshua L. Smizer, owner, $353,675. Council Communication Number 25-363. A is the approval of the contracts and bond. Anyone wishing to speak to those plans? Seeing no
I
one?
had a quick question,
Okay.
mainly for the manager, if I could. We had a month or two of consideration before Linda got all worked up. Good work, Linda. Thank you. About closing Birdland. The investments that we're making there are steep, and I think, just for the record, I'd like to know that there's no intention to recommend the closing or shutting down Birdland as we're making these capital investments.
Yes, I can confirm at this moment, there is no intention of doing that. Understand that things change year to year, but absolutely nothing with the intent at this moment.
And for those in the audience, may I make a comment? Isn't it wonderful that we're planning ahead for next spring?
Yeah.
So they'll be ready to go.
Yes.
And so I think this work, if it continues into the summer, will not impact the opening of the pool. These are through the buildings. Yeah.
I'll move 70, and Linda and-
I'll second it.
or Josh.
It's been moved and seconded.
your
Please
two
vote.
boards.
No, you're good, Chris.
7 yes.
Motion carries. Item 71, dismissing hearing on approval of plan specifications, form of contract, and engineer's estimate on the Nahas Aquatic Center equipment replacement due to no bids being received. Council Communication Number 25-362.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Please vote.
7 yes.
Motion carries. Next item will be 18. Councilman Coleman wanted to speak to this. Well, you want me to read it first? I'll
Sure.
read it first. Authorization to proceed with acquisition of the necessary property interest for the Polk Boulevard and University Avenue Stormwater Improvements Project. Council Communication Number 25-360.
We have our stormwater infrastructure group that I hope have a chance later to
Great.
talk about the report. This is this was a report that identified the top intersections and issues left in the city for stormwater maintenance, and I just wanted to say thanks to the team. This borders Councilman Mandelbaum and my wards, and this was the number one project. Surprised me a lot when the report came out, but I'm really happy that we're proceeding, and I'm really thankful we continue to invest in these. Just wanted to give a shout out to the committee and to the staff that are following through with the reports and studies that we do, so thank you. I'll move 18.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Please vote.
7 yes.
Motion carries. The next item is 18I, approving 60-day notice of loss of neighborhood recognition status for the Prospect Park Neighborhood Association. Council Communication Number 25-352.
I'd encourage everybody to take time to read council communication because Heather and the team in Neighborhood Services have done a great job. We've spent some time, a lot of time the last couple of months trying to think about how to address a neighborhood association that just was running out of steam. You know, the leaders had done such a good job for so long, but you know, you eventually have other interests or get burnt out. We need a shot in the arm, and I think the plan that we have underway over the next 60 days is a really positive and I hope model for going forward. Tomorrow, if this passes, we'll be sending a letter, actually with leftover money from the grant that we provided neighborhoods, to all the homeowners in the area and any other addresses that we could put together to come to a meeting, and that'll be kind of the, you know, a big shot to try and generate some additional interest. I hate to see a neighborhood association go away. I also know that if they aren't prepared to meet the standards and so forth, we can't recognize them because it is a two-way street. And So I recommend 18I, and I hope you take a look at that process.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Please vote.
Seven, yes.
The motion carries. 72 is receive and file the Public Works Stormwater Infrastructure Advisory Committee 2024 annual report regarding the status of the community goals and receive comments from the committee chair, Emeritus. Council Communication number 25-347, we'll welcome Gloria Hoffman to the podium.
I'm here to say thank you to the council for supporting the stormwater issues that we've been dealing with actually for years and years and years. After the 2018 flood, the Stormwater Advisory Committee was formed, Stormwater Infrastructure Advisory, to report to the council. You have received a report for last year, and in addition to receiving and filing, I'd ask you to continue to budget and implement. We identified through a professional study and assessment $700 million worth of projects that need doing in Des Moines. Most of us will not be around to see those happen, but $125 million has been approved and budgeted by this council so that we can address the top 15. Several of those are done. Closest Creek is done. Hamilton Drain is nearly done. Crawford Creek on the east side is in the process of acquiring property. There's been work on George Flagg Parkway, the levees, the marketplace. All of this has been done because of your support, and that includes putting it as a budget item, which it had not been, and which is extremely important and must continue, and also raising stormwater taxes, the utility tax on your water bill. Taxes are not a popular thing, but I've discovered that if you tell people how they're being used, they understand and are willing to pay. So keep up the good work on that. We have 5 more projects of the 15 priorities that have been approved for budgeting. So those will be are being processed and designed, excuse me, and will be completed within the next couple of years. I want to appreciate my committee. I am finishing my second 2-year term as chair. Keith Shostrom, who's been with us the whole time, will be the new chair. And we also have 4 representatives that joined us within the last year or year and a half, all dedicated and all equipped to work with this issue. We do need a few more people on the board or on the committee. My ward does not need anyone, Northwest Des Moines, but the other wards, if you would have an idea, refer them to Patrick Bean. I want to commend my committee. They've been wonderful, and I want to commend the Public Works Department. Jonathan Gano and all of the staff have been wonderful to work with, and Patrick has been our resource for everything, in addition to overseeing all of the projects. So it's been very important to have this kind of leadership, and I just want to express my appreciation. It's been a privilege to serve, and I hope that you will continue to make every effort to support these projects. They impact us throughout the city, from a safety standpoint, from an environmental standpoint, and from a financial standpoint. So thanks to all of you.
Gloria, I can't thank you enough on behalf of this council for the work and dedication. And because of your commitment, that one project got moved up 5 years because we saw the damage that had been done, but you're a strong force. So thank you for what you've done for our city. Thank you. So that we're
Move item 72.
And Patrick, thank you for your work. Please vote.
7, yes.
Motion carries. 73 is directing advertisement for sale and approving of electronic bidding procedures and official statement for $69,980,000 of general obligation bonds, Series 2025A. Bonds will be sold at a special meeting on Wednesday, October 8th 2025 at 4:30 PM.
Second.
Been moved and seconded, please vote.
7 yes.
Motion carries. Item 74, directing advertisement for sale and approving electronic bidding procedures and official statement for $6,035,000 taxable general obligation bonds, Series 2025B. Bonds will be sold at a special meeting on Wednesday, October 8th, 2025 at 4:30 PM.
Move approval.
Been moved and seconded, please vote.
7 yes.
Motion carries. 75 is setting the date of hearing on lease agreement with Joppa for property located in the vicinity of 2501 Maury Street to 10/20/25.
We can't just approve it, we have to set a date.
That was a change.
That was a change. Okay. Then I will move item 75, and we're hoping to have this done by tonight, but I guess we'll wait till the 20th. But thank
I'll
you
second
for
it.
everything that you've done.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
We have a meeting now on the 8th to do
The
bonds.
bond hearing.
I don't think we could get notice in time
It's a notice
for the
issue.
paper,
For the hearing
All right.
itself. So that's why the
because we
20th
just
was-
got
That
the
would-
notice
that would-
today. And
That meeting is an opportunity to do some other things too, if this isn't. So.
Right.
Right.
Okay. It's been moved and seconded,
Yes.
please vote.
6 yes, 1 abstain.
Motion carries. 76, 2025 Emergency Solutions Grant, ESG, recipient funding under the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development. Council Communication Number 25-358.
I'll move item 76. Thanks again, Scott and Chris Johansson, for your work on this.
It's been moved and seconded, please vote.
7, did I press it? They're all showing here. It says 7 yes.
Okay,
Perfect.
On my screen, it said 7 yes. Sorry.
okay, that's good, it's on yours. 77, Home Investment Partnerships, Home Program Community Housing Development Organization, funding for Home Opportunities Made Easy Incorporated, Home Inc., to construct an affordable single-family home at 1227 41st Street. Council Communication Number 25-350.
Second.
Thank you.
It's been moved and seconded. Please vote. Again, a great opportunity. Thank you for what you're doing.
7 yes.
Motion carries. 78 is Home Investment Partnership, Home Program Agreement for $100,000, a Community Development Block Grant, Agreement for $650,000 to Beacon of Life, the Beacon Village LLC, and the Beacon Village Phase 2 LLC for the Beacon Village Phase 2 renovation of 1348 East Euclid Avenue for 32 units. Council Communication Number 25-356.
I'll move item 78, and I'm excited about this project. I'm glad that it's in Ward 2.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Please vote.
7 yes.
Motion carries. Item 79, award of $535,000 in Home Investment Partnership Program funds to Uptown Partners Corporation and all other tenants in common for the development of the 9-unit Uptown Commons mixed-use multifamily building resulting in 3 affordable residential rental units at 4109 University Avenue. Council Communication Number 25-353.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Please vote. Again, another good project with some more affordable housing.
7 yes.
Motion carries. Number 80, First Amendment of the 2080 agreement with the City of West Des Moines, Polk County, and Home Opportunities Made Easy Incorporated for provision of services of a community land trust. Council Communication Number 25-351.
I'll move item 80, and a big shout out to Amos for bringing the concept of the community land trusts to the community.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Please vote. Another great opportunity for affordable housing.
God, oh, I didn't get it. 7 yes.
Motion carries. 81 is amending Chapter 114 of the Municipal Code regarding traffic regulation, changes as follows. Council Communication Number 25-365. A is parking modifications related to the relocation of the U.S. federal government offices. 1, East First Street to East Court Avenue to East Walnut Street. 2 is East Second Street to East Court Avenue to East Walnut Street.
I will move item 81, A, 1 and 2, and pursuant to Rule 42A, move to waive the second and third reading.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Please vote.
7 yes.
Motion carries. Item 82 is the amendment to Section 2-364 of the Municipal Code authorizing the city manager to retain outside counsel. A is first consideration of the ordinance above.
I'll move 82A.
You want to waive the
Let's see how this votes.
Waive for 42A.
Sure. Pursuant to Rule 42A, I'll waive the second and third reading.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Please vote.
7 yes.
Motion carries. 83 is approving grant agreement with Central Iowa Shelter and Services. A is first consideration the ordinance amending the Section 102-410 regarding offense and fine related to prohibited camping and encroachment ordinance. And B is final consideration of ordinance above. Waiver requested by Scott Sanders, city manager, requires 6 votes. Is there a motion?
I'll move 83A.
I'll second
And B?
that.
I do not want to move B right at the moment.
Okay.
I want to move A.
Oh, then I'm going to withdraw the second because I want,
Okay.
I'd rather waive.
I've got comments. I'm not going to move this.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure Josh wants to talk, and then we can see where we vote, and then I can waive the second reading, I guess, so.
I will second it so that we can have discussions. And you want to take up A first?
Well, I mean, things are wrapped together, but, and I guess before I start, I want to make known I'm not planning on voting for A. If I could vote for just the grant agreement with Central Iowa Shelter and Service, I would vote for the grant agreement. But I do have concerns with making this change. I haven't, and I've got concerns on 2 fronts. I mean, I think the process, and the process is flawed. I'm surprised that we spent a whole morning talking about homeless initiatives and a major ordinance change didn't come up as part of that work session. I think it would have been appropriate to discuss this as a council at that time and to give the public an opportunity to weigh in, because I think most of the public didn't have any idea this change was coming, and this came as a surprise to them. And I have not seen anything that, I don't think this change is necessary. I've not seen anything that would convince me otherwise. And what I would also like to say, I mean, I don't agree with the underlying policy. That's not a surprise to anyone. And so that hasn't changed. I don't agree with the ordinance and the fine. But what this does is it takes out the affirmative defenses. There were 3 conditions that if those things happened, someone who was cited and fined could raise those after the fact as a defense, and have that citation and fine go away. And I don't see how this improves the ordinance. In fact, I think it makes it more punitive, and I don't think it is necessary. I think we've done some good work in the intervening months. I think there are a number of initiatives, getting those outreach workers on the streets, a number of the things that we heard about last week, some of what we're working on today, right? Everything from the work that Council Member Voss and Gatto did to help get Joppa across the finish line. I think that's positive. I think a number of the affordable housing pieces are positive. I just don't think this is the right policy. I think it makes a policy that I wish we would repeal. I think it makes that policy worse than it is today. And so I can't vote for that policy. And I know, the agreement with CIS provides some amount of shelter, although when the original ordinance was considered, CIS didn't have any cap on the number of beds available. So we're essentially back to where, from a bed availability perspective, back to where we were a year ago, or rather this winter, before I think that announcement of a cap was in April. We're essentially back to that point, and we've regularly exceeded the need for that number of beds, and the additional 25 beds comes nowhere near the number of folks who we know are outside at any one time based on our point-in-time counts. So even though I appreciate the good work that goes into the contract and I'm supportive of the contract, I don't think that justifies making this change. So I plan on voting no. I think it'd be great to give the community more time to weigh in, since I don't think they knew about this. In fact, I didn't find out about this until after the agenda had gone public. And I didn't know that we were contemplating this change until that time. So if I didn't know about it until that time, it's very hard for the public to even have had an idea that this was coming. So that's where I'm at. I don't plan on supporting it, and appreciate you letting me share those thoughts.
Thanks, Josh. I do plan on supporting it, and I'll tell you why. First off, I think the original ordinance was more along what I wished for, because that's what I voted for. I think that it provided a statement that we didn't want this to be punitive, we wanted it to be cooperative. And I think that we have proven over the last 12 months that we do want it to be very cooperative, empathetic, and compassionate. I can list many things, and I'd encourage anybody that hasn't been paying attention to go back and watch more than an hour and a half presentation last Monday to the council when we gathered in special session to get an update on the many planks that we passed when we passed this ordinance. It was one of many. And I have great appreciation for the staff and all the providers in the community that have helped us make progress on it. I think this is an issue that we have to fix because we inadvertently created liabilities and issues with our public safety people. And it is, and we might disagree with that, but I think as long as our legal counsel and others have provided guidance and advice and training related to it, we have to recognize that that's a real situation. I was not sure we should take it up, and I wasn't committed to any change based on the information I had until we had a substitute plan to make sure that we had units available. And I know that the manager has worked very hard. I've had many conversations with the folks at Central Iowa Shelter and Services to make sure that we have a plan in place. And in hindsight, had we had the plan in place where we could guarantee that we would have spots available when our outreach workers, police, and other providers called, that would have been a better solution than what we passed a year ago. So while that was the best solution that we had in front of us last year in dealing with space and availability of shelter, we didn't have this one. Now that we have this one, it's a better one. And I feel very good about this. You mentioned CIS. I want to underscore the fact that our safety net those that are on the front line providing services, are almost daily finding housing and support for people that are living on the streets and in the shelter, which means that capacity is turning over quicker than ever. We were reported last week that just the 4 outreach workers that had been working for not quite 6 months when they compiled this data had already transitioned 60 people that were homeless into housing, just those 4. On top of that, we have outreach workers from JAPA, and CIS has their own outreach workers. We have the Iowa Youth Homeless and YESS doing the same work. So we know that 60 is just a piece of it. We've also passed the blueprint. We brought in one of the country's most expert and well-respected consultants to write a plan for us. And that I was with the providers last Friday, and I saw the energy and satisfaction they had for doing jobs that were succeeding and contributing to a better outcome for us as a community. I see lots of positive momentum, and I see 83, the agreement with CIS, being a great solution to deal with the inadvertent and unintended situation that we put our police officers and other public safety people in. I want to be on their side. I don't want to set them up for personal liability or problems, and I feel like the council owes it to the people that are on the front lines in this city doing things to have policies that protect them. And I've been aware that this was one solution, but I didn't grasp onto this as something that I would support until we had an agreement with CIS to make sure that we were substituting one strategy for a better strategy. And I feel like that's what we're doing tonight.
I would just like to add, I agree with that. I have visited with CIS, I've visited with our police officers. This is something that's going to help them do their job better. And I think, we can all affirm that there are some people that just do not want to go to any type of shelter. But this will protect those that do want to go. I don't think we ever want to, the goal is never to arrest anyone, but now we have this agreement with CIS that they're going to give us extra beds. Even if they're full, we can pay them so much per night to have people stay there. So to me, we're helping those that are unsheltered. And I support this.
Okay. Anybody on this?
Mayor, I have a
Yes.
comment. I've only been on this council for a little over a year, so I certainly got my feet wet a year ago when this issue came up. And I struggled with this only because I didn't think I had enough time to fully delve into things and understand what was happening, and I was not supportive. I felt at that time that we had the cart before the horse, that we're adopting this policy without having a plan. And when I ran, and you've heard this before, when I ran a little over a year ago, I had in 7.5 weeks, 74 gatherings, and homelessness was the number one issue. We have made great strides in the last year. And I am very pleased that, to my knowledge, correct me if I'm wrong, we have not issued any citations. We have not issued any fines. And just tonight, we're talking about JAPA, more affordable units, the Beacon. They have an outstanding organization, the Land Trust, and I see more very good things coming. We have been awakened to the need of our neighbors. At the same time, I still struggle with this language. And I'm going to vote no, only so that we can delay the final vote by only 5 weeks. Again, it's been a year since we first voted for the encampment, and I'm asking for 5 more weeks. I had a meeting this morning with Josh, the mayor, the city manager. I thank you for doing that on very short notice. I'm not an attorney. Josh is. Josh thinks there might be some language that can be tweaked that would accommodate what the city's looking for, but still have compassion. So I'm going to vote just so that we slow it down a little bit and see if there are other solutions.
I think the goal was because the winter months are coming up, we're trying to get this through. I'll open it up to other people who have not spoken.
I guess I just have a process question. Can the second reading be on the 8th and then the third reading be on the 20th?
Sure.
I think I'd like to shoot for that with my motion then,
So,
after the first reading.
I would second that motion.
Well,
Our agreement with CIS
Right.
requires them to move, requires them to do some work internally. And there's a sense of urgency I have because winter is coming.
Winter is coming.
We want to be compassionate. We want to go, and again, if whenever it is, we should do it as soon as we can.
The CIS agreement would be finalized tonight under that vote.
like I
It's
said,
the other piece.
okay, that's fine.
With the first consideration, the CIS agreement is done?
It doesn't take considerations, it takes approving, which is what
Okay.
one vote.
right, I mean, like I said, there's nothing that required the ordinance and the agreement to be grouped together, other than I think it was maybe designed to try and get votes that might not have otherwise been there. I mean, I would like to support the CIS agreement. I hope the folks at CIS know that I appreciate the good work that they're doing and that voting no on this is not about the agreement, it's about the ordinance. I will say, from my conversations with legal, I don't think there is liability with the ordinance as it reads today. But if that was the concern, I think we could leave the language and we could clarify that, I mean, there are ways that we could clarify that this was not not intended to create any liability. Because this is, again, the affirmative defenses are in our ordinance and our ordinance only. And we could certainly clarify that that is, the existence of the affirmative defenses are not meant to create any sort of duty or liability for our officers, while still allowing the affirmative defenses to exist. So if it was about addressing the liability, I think we have a fairly clear-cut way that we could do that, to address the liability while still allowing for affirmative defenses. And I'd be happy to work on that language and use the additional time to address that and keep the affirmative defenses, because I think they are important. And I appreciate the additional capacity that is added here. And while that may be sufficient for the current circumstances, we pass ordinances that apply well beyond any of our time here on the council. And I am not convinced that there will always be available shelter. I'm concerned that there may not, depending on enforcement level, even at this juncture. And so I would like to get the policy that I think best serves our residents in the future, and I think we can do better than what is in front of us.
I think the one thing we have to remember too, that we are providing probably for Des Moines, but we're also providing for many other people throughout this region. So I would put a call out that we have more communities that need to step up and say we need more shelter. We have people coming in from outside of the metro area, probably 50, 60, 70 miles away. So I appreciate you want to do it for, but we got to consider what's the best for Des Moines, because we cannot be the only one providing services to the degree that we have taken on, because we're the ones that have all of the services here.
Mayor, may I ask a procedural question? If in the next 3 weeks, it's an off, so our next council meeting is in 3 weeks, if we could find language that is acceptable to legal and satisfies the concerns that Josh and I have, may we waive the third reading at that second reading?
Yeah, you can always waive. I mean, I'm just saying that, I think if that is the majority, want to do.
Wednesday's the next meeting, so next Wednesday, the 8th, so.
Oh, that is?
Yeah.
Okay,
So
great.
if you can get the language before Wednesday and we can find some agreement with the legal, it's next Wednesday, it's the 8th.
But whatever that language is, it has to be something that the police can do and enforce. I mean, I've got situations in my ward where, we had a large group of homeless people, and the police literally could do nothing. And the
They-
business owners were like so frustrated. I mean,
If you would like to
let them
comment
go
on it.
to the shelter.
The only thing I was going to say is that we can certainly draft whatever council would like us to draft, and we're happy to do that. But this initial concern about liability was not raised by legal. This was an issue that was raised by your frontline providers, and then relayed to us. And so then we helped draft the language that would address those concerns. So it's not really that it needs to be acceptable to legal. We'll draft whatever council directs us to draft.
Well, I moved 83 and 83A, and it's seconded.
She withdrew. Did somebody else
I
second?
seconded.
She seconded it.
You did
I
not.
went back and seconded after.
Oh, so 83 and 83A.
With bringing it back.
Yeah, with bringing it back
October.
October 8th, excuse me, for the second reading. And then, Scott, I assume if there's any language, you'll correspond with us individually.
Five yes, 2 no.
Motion carries. Counselor, the communication reports are the next. The request to speak, so we provide speakers under the public speaking portion of the opportunity to address the council for up to 3 minutes each for up to 20 speakers for a total of 1 hour agenda. Speakers will be called forward individually, and we ask everyone to please state their name and address or ward prior to providing comments. Please keep comments germane and avoid references to personalities or character attacks, as those types of comments do not contribute to the purpose for which this public forum exists. As a reminder to the council and the public, this public speaking time is to hear your comments. If there is a need to follow up, we will get it to the appropriate staff or council to follow up at a time after the meeting. At this time, we have 2 people. Celeste Burdick. Is Celeste here? Okay, Garland Armstrong. You know the drill.
Good evening, Council. Garland Armstrong, Ward 2. I have a little concern, especially when I'm walking through the bike trails, especially at night. There's no overhead lights, especially for bicyclists, walkers, joggers, and runners. And my biggest concern is, especially if there are scooters or bicyclists going through there at night, there might be an incident waiting to happen, especially through the bike trails. So I would like to know, when down the road can they put overheads at all bicycle trails so that we won't be a victim of it, especially when you're walking at night when it's completely dark? Because I sometimes, when the sun starts to go down, it gets dark, I have to use my safety reflector walking at night in the dark, and there's no overhead lights. So I just would like to know your suggestion. When do you think y'all gonna put that in there for our safety, so no scooters or bicyclists who are going extremely fast at night crashing into others when they're taking their time? So any suggestions or comments you have from that part?
We will maybe visit with you afterwards and kind of give you an update on why we probably don't have a lot of lights on trails, but we'll let you know, Garland, okay?
All right, thanks.
Thank you.
I'll move to
With that.
receive and file 84B's comment.
It's been moved and seconded, please vote. They have been received.
7
With
yes.
that, is there a motion to adjourn? Is there a second? All in favor, aye. We are adjourned.